Well, good morning, PSC 1025, and we are quickly approaching the end of the semester. So, this week we're going to continue our look at these kind of state and public policy issues, and really just again continue to apply what we've learned thus far as budding political scientists in this course. This week, much like kind of focusing on education last week, we're going to dive into yet another kind of contentious issue, that of criminal justice, right? Or, more explicitly, just crime. So, one of the things that we need to remember is as we try to understand the criminal justice system, we need to remember that it's rooted in British tradition. It's built upon centuries old British common law, court law, etc. And so when we understand it through that lens, then we can better understand that as we move through the century, and particularly decade after decade, the way states and localities really have attempted to develop municipal, local, and state criminal justice systems that seek to address that broad concept of crime. And I think what's important for us to understand is as we've moved through the decades, especially through the 20th century and transitioning to the 21st century, right, the criminal justice system tends to focus on particular areas, at least at the local and state level, like drugs, domestic violence, and violent crime. And unfortunately, right, we understand that these particular areas that the criminal justice system, at least at this level, have focused on, have inadvertently had undue impact on people of lower class, people of color, and immigrants. And as such, right, crime in very recent debates has found itself, much like education, trying to understand the ways we can address the inequity, but also understanding criminal justice and a war on crime, in a sense, has become, pawns of politicians. And as a result, right, we often see, much like in education, huge sways back and forth in the way that the criminal justice system is reformed, whether you are on the political right or the political left. And so hopefully, right, what you'll walk away with is understanding this particular space, obviously through a legal lens, but also understanding it through that socio-political lens that we've been doing each week. All right, that said, reading comes out of chapter 14, discussion 13, and quiz 13.